Hi and welcome to Great Expectations. Teaching children about the importance of money and how to handle it is one of the greatest lessons they can learn. It's also one of the greatest gifts a parent can give. Today we're helping you raise money-savvy kids. So we've got the best guests to help you to help your little ones. They are banking and financial experts Zanele Mbege and children's financial toys and games developer Karina Stradham and future trends analyst, author and parenting expert Graeme Codrington. Now, Graeme has written about the world our kids are growing up in, and that's future-proof your child. I do have a copy right here. This is what it looks like, and the other one is Mind the Gap. Oh, they're nice and heavy, Graeme. Let me try and get those. There's lots of info in here, lots of clever information and lots of principles, and you can also be part of our chat today, so do get in touch with us. Now, we thought that we would chat a little bit about this one, Graeme. Future-proof your child, and my first question to you was going to be, what principles do you teach your child? I've got a 3.5-year-old. Can I start teaching her at this age, and does this book apply? Yeah,
absolutely. The book's not just about the financial principles, but about all the different principles you would need to grow up in a very fast-changing world. The financial principles, we heard, it was a fantastic story with Nina and Nono going to the shops.
Girls, yes.
They're learning how to spend the money, but of course the other side is where the money comes from. And I think one of the most important principles to teach our children, besides the principle that money runs out, it's a limited resource, is that money is related to hard work. It's related to effort. I think as a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old, that's the best we can hope for in terms of matching those concepts, that the work that you put in, whether it's physical work or thinking work, will result in
just to have a relationship with money is what we should be teaching them.
And so what I did with my 3 daughters is there are certain things you should do around the house.
You have hard work, 3 daughters.
I realize that.
Yeah.
But there are some things you do because you're part of our family. And we don't pay our children to do things they should do as part of the family.
Yes.
But there are things you can do extra that will then earn you money. And we need to match the effort required at different ages and stages with the money that they are then given. And that will, I agree with Karina, that will be different in different families. So you have to decide for your own children
what your principles are at home.
But they need to realize if they work hard, they can be rewarded. And you can start that really at 3 and 4 years old.
Goals, Graeme, how important is that, and where do we apply it in this lesson?
I really love Karina's 3 piggy banks. We've been using that with our children for many years. And what you can do for a goal, for instance, for a younger child, is actually take a picture of something they really want. And instead of just giving it to them, get them to save. Now, the younger the child, the shorter that horizon might be. And they don't necessarily need to save all the money. You can top it up as a parent. But teaching this delayed gratification, teaching them that they can wait just a little bit if they're younger and wait quite a long time. My oldest daughter, when she was about 9 years old, really wanted an iPod. And by personality, we knew we could stretch her. And she saved for over a year. Every month, a little picture of an iPod and putting the money away.
How old was she at the time?
She was 9.
9.
For 1 year, she was focused on this objective. Now, my middle daughter would never handle that. And you've got to know your children and how far you can push each child. But planning, even at a young age, you know, even at 4 or 5 years old, they say, I really want that. You say, well, let's save. Put some money in the box, and when that box, you can draw a line on the box. When that box reaches this line, we'll go and buy it.
And there's the picture of what you can get. What wonderful lessons and tips and ideas on how to do this. Hi again. Today on Great Expectations, we've been looking at how to raise money-savvy kids. Why? Because their future literally depends on it. Author and dad of 3 girls, Graeme Codrington is a firm believer in teaching children to be responsible, and being a future trends analyst, he's got the best idea of the world our children are growing up into. And with him is banking and financial expert Zanele Mbege and designer of financial education toys for 0 to 7-year-olds, Karina Stradham. And, you know, entrepreneurship seems to be the talking point these days. Try and get your own business going and all of that, Graeme. So just before we get to that, why do we need to be teaching our children about all of this and about their future and just giving them all of this information?
You know, it's a wonderful time to be a child at the moment. It's a very exciting world with technology advances and possibilities. But the downside of all of those changes is actually the world of work as we know it as adults is changing. And it doesn't need as many people in it anymore.
You're right. Yeah.
Just like the farms 100 years ago lost labourers and the factories have lost labourers to technology, so the offices of the world are going to lose people because the technology can replace them. And so our children, our children that we're concerned about, when 20 years' time when they're looking for work, there isn't going to be as much work in the corporate world.
That's
it's not going to be as many. It is
yeah.
very, very scary. And the best thing that we can do for them is, first of all, help them to have a solid financial base, and secondly, to help them to have the mindset that I can do this. I can go out and not only find a job, but I can also create work. Instead of waiting for government to give me jobs or government to give me a grant or somebody to come and offer me a job, I can become an entrepreneur. It's
so that's entrepreneurship. And you've done that in this book, Navigating Your Career. Does it help you?
Yes, so that's my latest book that was launched last year, in which we just talk about the various options that we all have, not just young people, but all of us through our lives, to create jobs that, first of all, we love doing, but secondly, also create income. We create our own security through creating our own jobs and our own company. And that you can, again, teach as an attitude to your children from very young. Encourage, if your children come and say, can I make money in this way, encourage that.
Just final word from you, Graeme, as the author of all these books, just your parting message to our parents looking into the future. What should we be doing with our kids from today?
You know, we mustn't think that just because we haven't got our own financial issues sorted out yet, that we must sort ourselves out before we help our children. Let's help our children straight away. To do the right things, teach the principles that we've learnt about today, and make sure that we support them. When we see our children having a good idea, support them. This really is hands-on parenting. And I know people who watch the show are committed to being involved as parents.
It's a daily worry.
Take every opportunity you can and talk about money. Our parents didn't talk about money to us. It was a big mistake.
They didn't want us to know the troubles they were having.
Exactly. We need to engage our children with this.
But don't burden your children. Don't tell them too much about what's going on.
Deal with their issues, not yours.
Right. Such wonderful advice from our experts. Graeme, Karina, Zanele, thank you so much. And for simplifying it for somebody like me who is quite clueless, actually, and making sense of all the money. You can join Super Nanny tomorrow when she gets another family on track. Goodbye, and remember, you're a great money-savvy mummy.